Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to Eagle Point High School, where tonight your Roseburg boys basketball team begins the 2021-2022 season. Apologize about a bit of a technical issue there at the start of the broadcast, working on trying to get that all dialed in there as we get ready to go. Hey, everybody, it's Joey Kieran, and great to be back with you again. If you've been listening to the radio station, The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM, you've heard me doing our pre-recorded episode of DC Sports Spotlight tonight here on The Score, and that was a lot of fun to recap the 3A state championship game for the South Umpqua Lancers, but also getting a chance to play some of our pregame conversations that I've had with the Roseburg boys as they get ready to tip off the season tonight here from Eagle Point High School. Roseburg, under the third year of head coach Jordan Humphreys, is going to be taking on Eagle Point under second-year leadership of head coach Ryan Mars. The two teams have squared off a number of times over the last few seasons. In fact, Roseburg has now won 5 consecutive against the Eagle Point Eagles. As we welcome you into tonight's broadcast of high school basketball here on The Score, it's the first night for winter sports. Tonight is the opening night of the season. High school basketball games going on around the Umpqua Basin. The Roseburg girls are back at home at Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium. Got to switch my terminology. We've gone indoors, and thank goodness it feels like it is the winter sports season out there tonight, especially down here in Southern Oregon, just northeast of Medford. But it is the first night of the winter sports season, and we're looking forward to kicking things off with the Roseburg boys. And so great to have you with us here tonight. If you're new to following the team, maybe you've got a youngster new on the varsity program and you're tuning in tonight, I want to remind everybody, as always, you can tune in and catch Roseburg High Sports online at 541radio.com, where you can watch tonight's game streaming live for free. It's absolutely 100% free to you. So you can tune in, head to 541radio.com, or you can also check us out by going to YouTube and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Just search 1490 The Score. You'll find our page there. And once you subscribe, you can hit the little bell and get notifications every time we go live with another sporting event for Roseburg High. So make sure you go and do that and follow us all throughout the season. This year, they've kind of played with the schedule just a little bit, as they have decided to put both boys and girls basketball games back-to-back on Saturdays. And so coming up this season, we're going to get the chance to do a few more Roseburg girls basketball games than we've had in the past, and very much looking forward to that opportunity. I've said all along that I wish we could do more, but because they play on the same night at opposite locations, one team home, one on the road, it limits what we're able to do. So we are very excited that we get the opportunity to bring you both Roseburg boys and girls basketball games, much more this season here on The Score. So if you know anybody that's a fan of the Roseburg girls basketball team that may be not tuning in here tonight, let them know that we will be getting in probably about 9-10 games of the Roseburg girls basketball season in this year as well, including our first Roseburg girls game coming up this weekend on Saturday. I'm Joey Kieran. Tonight, Roseburg and Eagle Point tip off the 2021-2022 season. Roseburg with a number of returning players, but a young group. And we'll talk more about this roster this year. We had a conversation that I played a little bit of with head coach Jordan Humphreys during DC Sports Spotlight, which we will have that up as a podcast. If you want to hear what the coach had to say about this year's team, we will have that up as a podcast coming up for you tomorrow online at 541radio.com on the sports podcast section there on the Score homepage. So check that out coming up here tomorrow. But we'll break down kind of what the coach has told me, some of the research I've been able to do about the team for this year, and get you all squared away and ready to go. It is Roseburg boys basketball coming up tonight here on The Score and streaming online at 541radio.com. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in and joining us for this evening's broadcast. We'll take a quick 2-minute break and come back with more of the pregame show. This is Roseburg Sports on Douglas County's home for sports, The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Get ready to satisfy your dessert cravings with Mountain Mike's new mini churros. These delicious bite-sized churros are the perfect dessert to pair with your favorite Mountain Mike's pizza, made with only the freshest and finest ingredients, dough made fresh daily with 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese, and toppings to the edge. For limited time only, get 16 mini churros for the whole family for only $4.99. Don't wait. Order yours today for dine-in, carry-out, or delivery.
Deciding where to purchase your next vehicle is just as important as the vehicle itself. At Roseburg Honda, our seasoned staff is dedicated to matching you with the right car. From sales to service, our goal is to make sure all of your needs are met, and you leave our dealership feeling good every time you visit. No need to waste your valuable time driving up and down the freeway when the ultimate car buying experience is right here at home. Roseburg Honda. We treat you like family.
Well, it's a season opener for Roseburg boys basketball tonight here on The Score. Also streaming with video online at 541radio.com. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action from Eagle Point High School. Can I just say this much? It was great with football season. It was so fun to be back out on the road and getting a chance to get out there and follow some of the playoff action. Obviously, Roseburg football getting into the second round of the state playoffs, their first appearances in the postseason in a number of years. And so it definitely was a fun football season, but it just reminded me how much fun high school sports can be after a year that had a lot of struggles because of the pandemic. It was tough. We didn't have a lot of road games last year, didn't get a chance to play full seasons, and didn't have the traditional high school state playoffs. What we had was mostly just regional tournament type setups. And last year, Roseburg did a decent job in a regional tournament. They won their first game, but so they go 1-2 in a regional tournament last year. But just getting done with the high school playoffs, following South Umpqua after Roseburg got knocked out, it was a lot of fun to just get back to that kind of setting. And so here this year, we're on the road to start out the season. Last year, I was realizing in my preseason prep, last year we never went on the road really to cover a team, cover Roseburg when they were against an opponent on the road. We did pretty much all the home games because of the pandemic regulations that schools had. They didn't have a lot of extra people coming into the gyms. They limited the access, and that limited our opportunity to get a chance to get out there and cover the team on the road. So starting out the season on the road at Eagle Point, it's a pretty cool opportunity for us here, and I'm happy to be here doing it. For the Roseburg Indians this season, they're coming off of last year, a 5-11 record. They were 1-5 in what was considered a league season last year. They played a bit of a hybrid league against Southern Oregon Conference teams. Some of those 5A opponents, including Eagle Point. You had Crater, Ashland in there as well, along with Grants Pass and the Medford schools. But Roseburg didn't play against any of the Eugene schools last year. They focused all on Southern Oregon regional teams, and so it wasn't a true Southwest Conference, more of a Southern old school style Southern Oregon Conference teams a year ago. The Roseburg went 5-11 though overall on the season. That is their most wins in a season under head coach Jordan Humphreys, who is now in his third year. Roseburg last year winning 2 games against Eagle Point and 2 games over Ashland, as well as a win over Grants Pass. That was their one Southwest Conference win. They were fifth. The fifth win of the season was the second win over Ashland. That came in that league playoff setting at the end of the year. So Roseburg beating up on a couple of 5A schools last year and getting a win against Grants Pass, but it was one of their more successful seasons under Coach Humphreys as he's getting his fingerprint on this program. And so he will look to try and continue to grow on that, but he loses a group of 4 seniors that were pretty much starters most of the year last year for him. Zach Martin, Matt Parker, Atreyu Pinard and Jacob Parker. Zach Martin, a second-team All-League selection for the Indians a year ago. Matt Parker and Atreyu Pinard, both honorable mention selections. So Roseburg losing a lot of minutes with that core group of seniors graduating last year. But they do return 3 players that saw meaningful minutes last year. Colton Marsters, Micah Mendoza, and Carter Stedman all getting a chance to see the floor on the varsity level last year. They also see the return of a couple of guys that played previously for Roseburg but weren't with the team last year. And that is Daniil Olson and Ben Pike, a couple of seniors on the team. Pike moved out of the area and didn't play for Roseburg last year, was in Bend, didn't play for a Bend school last year, but did get a chance to do some workouts, open gyms, as Coach Jordan Humphreys was telling me. As for Daniil Olson, chose not to play last year, but has made the decision in his senior year to come back and play for Roseburg. And looking forward to seeing what those two players will add to this lineup for Roseburg. They'll bring a little bit of size. Daniil played at the varsity level a bit as a sophomore in Jordan Humphreys' first year with Roseburg, and came off the bench and was part of the rotation for Roseburg, a guy that looks like, at least what I remember from him in his sophomore season, was a guy that could stretch the floor. But looking at the lineup, it's going to be a team that's trying to find their identity a little bit early on, and they are coming off of a week off. They had a quarantine last week because of a COVID case within the program that shut them down for 1 week. So they're getting a bit of a late start to everything here this year. We'll see how that affects them. But basketball's a sport where you can learn a little bit on the fly, and we hope to see that the team is able to do so. They do have some guys that have been in the program for a few years, including Colton Marsters, who was the leader on the football field this fall for Roseburg, ended up winning Southwest Conference Offensive Player of the Year, a first-team selection, both on offense and defense. Ended up having an absolutely amazing football season, and now we'll see if he can kind of replicate it on the basketball floor. He'll be one of the guys they look to lead this team, along with sophomore Micah Mendoza, who was in the starting lineup off and on throughout the season last year, had a couple of big nights scoring. We'll look to see if he has able to take his game to the next step this year. And then Carter Stedman, a junior for the Roseburg Indians, got a chance to play a little bit last year at the varsity level. Will get a chance to this year take over the starting duties at point guard, and we'll see how he does distributing the basketball and running the floor for the Roseburg Indians this year. We'll take a look at starting lineups here coming up in just a little bit as we get ready for tonight's season opener, so stick around for that here coming up. On the other side, Eagle Point, they are in, again, their second year under head coach Ryan Mars, and they've got some familiar names from last year and some good height on this team. They've got a guy, a senior in Brennan Knight, a name that we've seen the last couple of years for the Eagles, standing at 6'4". Another senior, Colt Carlton, at 6'4", and they've got a couple of other guys at 6 foot or taller, but they've got a couple of big ones there at the post players at 6'4". Roseburg telling me I'm pretty sure their biggest guy is Ben Pike at 6'6". A little bit of a beanpole, but expect him to be able to handle some of the pressures down low for Roseburg as one of the bigger guys on the roster. And we'll see how that does for him tonight against this Eagle Point team that will have a little bit of size down in the post. So we get ready to go. Update on what happened in the JV game here from Eagle Point. JV starts out with a big victory on their season opener as they win 54-29 in their first game of the year. Roseburg is getting ready to take on Eagle Point here tonight from Eagle Point High School as they're starting to filter in the fans here into the stands tonight. And it's great to see everybody back here and getting a chance to enjoy some high school hoops. Driving down here definitely felt like it was a basketball night. As soon as we started to cross over and down the pass into Grants Pass, started getting into the fog, and it never let up. A cold and gray day down here in southern Oregon, making our way to Eagle Point High School, and it was definitely cold and gray and foggy out there. And it just driving to the high school, it was already getting dark as we were getting here just around 4:30, 5 o'clock. And it already felt as if, this feels like basketball weather outside. So here we are. We're back indoors and ready to go as we get ready for high school football here tonight. We'll go ahead and take a 2-minute break. We're counting down towards the national anthem, and the starting lineups getting announced down on the floor. We'll try and get you the starting lineups coming back as we continue on our countdown to the start of the season. It's Roseburg boys basketball here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
We are Douglas County Farmers Co-op, but we're not just for farmers. We serve all residents of Douglas County because we are Douglas County. Stop by today for everything from a tank of gas to a bite to eat anytime you're hungry. Pick up something for yourself, your home, and those you care for. Celebrating 100 years of service, Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Good people, good products, and good advice.
I am a nurse,
a firefighter,
a college student,
a mother,
and I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready
for every storm
and disaster that threatens my community.
I will always be there to protect my neighbors,
my family,
and my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
As a doctor, I kept myself safe from COVID by following all the proper protocols. Then I visited my family, and we all got COVID. I debated getting the vaccine since I gained the COVID antibodies. I changed my mind because I learned the antibodies may not offer full protection. But getting the vaccine after COVID can help prevent you from getting sick again. It also lowers your risk of getting someone else sick. So whether you've already had COVID or you're still unvaccinated, please get the vaccine.
And we welcome you back here to Eagle Point High School, where tonight we tip off the 2021-2022 season between Roseburg and Eagle Point. Joey Keyran here with you as we count down towards tip-off for tonight's ball game. Again, tonight's contest is streaming online at 541radio.com and on the 1490 The Score YouTube channel. So make sure you check that out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can follow the action going on with us all throughout the high school season. Back at Roseburg, the Roseburg girls are in action tonight. They are taking on Eagle Point in their season opener. They've got a large chunk of their roster returning from last year, so that's good news there for the head coach Chad Smith and the Roseburg girls. Hoping to see a good result out of their season opener here tonight. And good luck to them. Taking a look at starting lineups here in just a moment. We're actually going to probably, I think, pause here real quick for the national anthem. Let's find out if they do lineups or anthem first. We're going to wait here. They are just getting the clock is just running down here. They are going to get us ready to go. Great gym here for Eagle Point. Nice spot. Kind of a bit of a bunker, it feels. But nice spot here to call a game. And we've got the band right in front of us. I was waiting until we'd hear them. Wasn't sure how long that might be. We are just about ready to go here in this one. Head coach Jordan Humphreys and Ryan Mars, the two head coaches of tonight. Roseburg looking to try and get their sixth consecutive win on top of Eagle Point. I think we're going to break for the national anthem, so we'll do so as well. One more 2-minute break here in the pregame show, and then we'll come back with your starting lineups and your tip-off as we get ready to kick off the season. It's high school basketball on 541radio.com and on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
I'm Amelia Snow. I work in the intensive care unit at Mercy Medical Center in Roseburg. I have seen the terrible damage COVID has done to my patients and their families. Without a vaccine, people of all ages can get very sick, even if they were perfectly healthy before they had COVID. The COVID vaccine is safe and effective and will reduce your risk of getting so sick you wind up at Mercy Medical. Get vaccinated, and I won't have to see you in the ICU.
It is time to tip off the high school basketball season tonight here from Eagle Point High School. Joey Kieran here with you. Let's go ahead and get tonight's starting lineups. We'll start out with the visiting Roseburg Indians. Head coach Jordan Humphreys will put together a starting five that has Micah Mendoza leading things off, the sophomore, along with senior Colton Marsters, junior Carter Stedman, and another junior, Jace Wilder, going to be out there, one of the post players, and then senior Ben Pike rounding out the starting five for the Roseburg Indians. Now on the other side for the home team, the Eagle Point Eagles, they will have a junior 5'10" guard, Adon Quintero, will get a start tonight, along with Alex Smith, a senior at 6 foot, a wing. Joining them will be Peyton Pierce, a sophomore, 6 foot wing. Tommy Johnson is a senior, 6'1" post, getting the start tonight. And then rounding out the starting five will be Alejandro Mickey Redondo, a senior 5'10" guard. And that is your starting lineups for tonight's contest as we get ready to go. Roseburg in the Road Blacks tonight. They've got the numbers outlined in orange on the back. It's black jerseys, black numbers, but they do have the orange outline to help us out a little bit there. On the other side, it is white jerseys, blue numbers on the back, outlined in gold, the blue piping down the side for the Eagles as they get ready to take the floor, still going through their starting lineups here for the first time in 2021. Actually, that's probably not completely true. We had the late spring, early summer 21 season last school year. This will be the first of the 2021-2022 school year here and for high school teams around the state of Oregon. Getting ready to go for tip-off. Roseburg will be moving left to right on the radio dial. They will have Ben Pike in the middle to tip things off for Roseburg. Senior he's a skinny guy. Look to see him add a little bit of muscle to that frame, a little bit of size out there for him, but he's got the height that they need, that's for sure. Pike will be in the middle, tipping off on the other side. Actually, they announce Brennan Knight is going to get the start here tonight. We didn't have him in the starting lineup to begin with, so he actually gets the start out there. We'll try and get you the starting five there for everybody. Winning the tip is Eagle Point. They go to Knight quickly, and he goes right to the basket for two. And it's a quick 2 points here for Eagle Point as they start things off. Roseburg will bring it up the floor. It's Micah Mendoza to the right corner. Tries to dump it down underneath to Pike. Had it tipped away. Tries to get it back into the corner to Mendoza, and it's tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with Roseburg. So on the floor, you've got Aiden Quintero, Brennan Knight, also Tommy Johnson. Is out near mid-stripe is Pike getting it on the inbound pass. Behind the back dribble, picks it up. Toss it to the far side to Colton Marsters. And Marsters will get called for the over and back as he dribbled it off his own hip and into the backcourt. Alex Smith, Quintero, and trying to figure out who the missing guy is. So it's going to be Pierce. Peyton Pierce is the one, the sophomore that we listed as a starter, going to be the one guy that's not out there. A three from the near side is good for Alex Smith. Smith will make it 5-0 Eagle Point here early on. Far side, driving in. Colton Marsters got to the rim, but he's a little off the mark on his first shot of the ball game. Roseburg trailing 5-0. 1 minute ticked away in the game. A deep corner three, well off the mark. Tough angle in the corner for Smith as he misses his second attempt. Micah Mendoza tries to push it up the floor, and the ball is picked off. With it is Redondo. He finds the cutter. That's Quintero, but he's off the mark with his shot. Roseburg down with the defensive rebound. Up the floor quickly. Marsters nearly traveled, and he will get called for it. Tried to go too quick, and he drug his back foot as he was trying to pass the ball underneath to a cutter, and the ball gets turned back over to Eagle Point. So far, Roseburg with just one shot in the ball game, trailing 5-0 a minute and a half into the 2021-2022 season. Out at the top, Johnson with it. Bounce pass to the top circle. Knight gets around the defender to Redondo on the near side. He attacks, gets his shot swatted, and out of bounds off of Redondo. It is Colton Marsters that came in to knock that one out of bounds off of the shooter, Mickey Redondo. Roseburg with the basketball, brings it up left to right. Through the center circle goes Stedman. Pass to the left side, out at the wing is Marsters. Dribbles into the corner, bounce underneath, fighting for it. Jace Wilder getting the start here tonight. Yeah, he draws a foul underneath. That foul goes against Alex Smith, picking up his first of the ball game. Inbound from underneath out to Mendoza for a three. He's long, and that ball tipped out of bounds off of Quintero. So far, Roseburg is not, I don't even know if they've truly hit the rim as of yet. A driving baseline. Colton Marsters had missed a lay-in attempt on a tough angle on the baseline, and now Mendoza missing that three. Mendoza driving to the right elbow, kicks it out into the corner. It'll be Marsters on a long three attempt. His shot off the mark. The ball tipped out of bounds by Ben Pike. Cold start to the season for Roseburg, trailing 5-0, but cooling down just a bit has been Eagle Point. 5:45 to go. Long pass up the floor to Quintero. Backs it out, gets it to Knight, to the top. Redondo back to the left side. Quintero from the wing gets a screen from Knight, dribbles away from it, out to the top. Johnson driving in. The floater is good. Tommy Johnson gets his first points of the night, 7-0 now. On the other side, trying to respond. A three by Marsters is short. And down with the rebound are the Eagles. They'll bring it up the floor. 5:20 to play in the first quarter. Crossover dribble, left side. Redondo back out to Knight for a three. Front iron, no good. Long rebound, pulled down by Wilder at the baseline. Up the floor quickly goes Roseburg. Ball tipped to Pike. And Pike nearly going across the baseline, saves it back in bounds to Stedman. Stedman lost it out of bounds, but as he was trying to collect the basketball, had a player hugging him from the backside. That was Quintero. Quintero called for the reach-in, and there's two fouls now against the Eagles, one for Quintero and Smith. Double team comes out to Marsters. Wilder gets it, left elbow shot. It rattles around, and Jace Wilder has the first points of the year for the Roseburg boys. 7-2 our score. Bounce pass, found the backdoor cutter, but short on the shot is Quintero. He had a wide open lay-in, and he couldn't finish it. Stedman's going to push it up the floor, tries to step around the defender, and he'll draw a foul. Trying to take the charge in the middle is Tommy Johnson, but Johnson gets called for the blocking foul. Stedman tried to step around him, but could not, but he will get the call there. And they're going to line him up. I didn't think they were going to give him credit for a shooting foul, but they're going to say that Carter Stedman was shooting, so he will head to the free throw line, a chance to cut down this 5-point deficit that Eagle Point holds at the lead that Eagle Point holds at the moment. 4:36 to play here in the first quarter, and Stedman will hit the first to make it 7-3. Second free throw coming. It's good as well. 7-4 our score, 4:30 and counting here in the first quarter. Near side pass, Alex Smith, an open look at a three, short, and the rebound comes down to Wilder. 1 for 3 now from behind the arc for Alex Smith after hitting his first. He's missed 2. Driving in, Mendoza with the Euro step. He swims over a defender, and Micah Mendoza will get his first 2 of the year. And it's a 1-point game as Roseburg rallies back, trailing 7-6. Up the floor, a long pass, a runner from the baseline, off the mark for Quintero. Rebound tipped around, and it will stay with Eagle Point. Last touched on the near sideline in front of the marching band, or the pep band, I should say, as well as in front of us here in the corner of the Eagle Point gym. It'll be Eagle Point basketball. Pass out towards the midcourt stripe, retreating back out. Handling the basketball, Aiden Quintero. Gets it to Alex Smith, has the ball tipped away, but it goes right to teammate Tommy Johnson. Johnson with Marsters on him, has to pick it up and protect the basketball. Finds Brennan Knight out on the far side of the floor, who backs it up between the circles. He'll dribble between the legs. 3:41, counting down here in the first quarter. On the near side, Redondo dribbles out to the top. He goes between the legs. Now pass off to Johnson. And the ball stolen away, ripped out of the hands of Johnson by Colton Marsters. Roseburg with the steal, trying to make them pay. Into the game for Roseburg came Keegan Cleary. He'll pass it. Cutting baseline is Stedman, who gets a runner for 2. And that'll put Roseburg in front for the first time tonight. They lead 8-7 with 3:15 to go here in the first quarter. First lead of the season for Roseburg. They have responded after trailing 5-0 early on. Actually, they were down 7-0, and they've gone on an 8-0 run. Pass out to the top after a missed 3. A long attempt by Redondo was off the mark. He'll have it left side, dribbles around a screen, tries to get it back to Johnson, but it's just not there as Marsters applies the defensive pressure to the far side. Try to bounce it between the defense. It's off of a Roseburg player, and the Indians come up with it. Marsters, left side to the rim, finishes with the left hand, and Colton Marsters has his first points of the night. It's a 10-0 run for Roseburg, and the Indians are on top, 10-7, with 2:40 to go in the first quarter. Let's take a 30-second break. This is Roseburg basketball on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Get ready to satisfy your dessert cravings with Mountain Mike's new mini churros. These delicious bite-sized churros are the perfect dessert to pair with your favorite Mountain Mike's pizza, made with only the freshest and finest ingredients, dough made fresh daily with 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese, and toppings to the edge. For limited time only, get 16 mini churros for the whole family for only $4.99. Don't wait. Order yours today for dine-in, carry-out, or delivery.
First quarter action here from Eagle Point High School as Roseburg leads 10-7. They are on a 10-0 run here in the first quarter to get back in the lead, or actually take their first lead of the season. Keegan Cleary on the floor along with Jace Wilder, Colton Marsters, Carter Stedman out there, and another new player into the game for the first time tonight for Roseburg. I believe it's Hunter Fullerton. It is. Fullerton, the junior. Keegan Cleary, also a junior, getting his first varsity action of the season. Inbound for Eagle Point out of the timeout. Johnson with it at the top, pass to the near side, newly entered into the game. Tristan McGuire, a senior wing for Eagle Point. He'll work it back around to the far side. Peyton Pierce has come in, the sophomore, sporting the headband with the floppy hair on top. Don't know if that headband's really keeping the hair out of his eyes, but nonetheless, he's got it. He draws a foul. It's the first team foul against Roseburg. With the basketball, Brennan Knight hands it off to Redondo. Dribble left side, calling for it. McGuire will get it on the handoff. They work it to the far side of the floor. Back to the top, and a foul going to be called against Cleary. He got in the way. Nearly had the steal, but just got too much in the way of Peyton Pierce. And that'll be the first on Cleary. It's the second foul against Roseburg. 3 team fouls against the Eagles and 2 against the Indians. Under 2 minutes to play here in the first period. To the left side with it. Nearly lost his footing. Pierce does control the basketball. Driving in. Tommy Johnson stops in the lane. Puts up a shot. It's short. Might have been tipped. And a rebound comes down to Roseburg. Up the floor quickly comes Marsters. Between the leg dribble, drives left side, kicks out into the corner. Step and a travel call. The jab step by Jace Wilder turns it over back into the hands of the Eagles. Marsters will take a seat. Coming in for him is Boston Williams, the junior, getting his first action of the night. The only starters on the floor for Roseburg at the moment are Stedman and Wilder. They go with a bit of a press, three-quarters court. Up the floor, into the middle, back out to the top, to the far side. It's Redondo on a three. Front iron, no good. The cold streak continues for the Eagles. Down with the rebound is Stedman. In the middle, Stedman, the stop and go, and he's off the mark with his lay-in. And the rebound comes down to the Eagles. It's a 10-0 run for Roseburg still. A minute to play here in the first period. A three would tie it back up for the Eagles after they led 7-0. To the far side with it, Redondo. Around a screen from Johnson to the top. Stops, bounce back to Johnson. Tries to work his way in against Fullerton. Turnaround jumper falls, and that'll stop the run by Roseburg. Redondo gets the two. It's 10-9. Up the floor quickly. Baseline. And an offensive foul called against Boston Williams. Yeah, Boston Williams picking up his first. Third foul against Roseburg. 40 seconds to go here in the first quarter. It's a one-point game. Roseburg leading by as many as 3 here in the first period. After Eagle Point jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Redondo on the far side. Pump fake into the corner. Back to Johnson at the top. 28 seconds and counting. Hand it off with the basketball. Pierce backs it out. Working against Williams. Calling for his teammates to clear out. Will go on the pick and roll. And to Brennan Knight, who is redirected back out. Roseburg switching with their zone defense here. Out at the top, Fullerton marking. Redondo driving right side. Gets into the lane. Sidesteps around the defense and lays it in. And Redondo with 2 buckets in a row will put Eagle Point back on top. A shot at the buzzer is off the mark for Fullerton. And that'll do it here at the end of the first quarter. Roseburg 10, Eagle Point 11. The Eagles coming back to take the lead back after a 60-second break on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Deciding where to purchase your next vehicle is just as important as the vehicle itself. At Roseburg Honda, our seasoned staff is dedicated to matching you with the right car. From sales to service, our goal is to make sure all of your needs are met, and you leave our dealership feeling good every time you visit. No need to waste your valuable time driving up and down the freeway when the ultimate car buying experience is right here at home. Roseburg Honda. We treat you like family.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
Start the second quarter here from Eagle Point High School. Roseburg trailing 11-10 against the Eagles. It'll be Roseburg starting with the basketball. Backing his way in. Ben Pike nearly had it stolen away, and he'll get called for a travel as he tried to save it back in bounds. He was just off the mark and took a couple of shuffle steps in there. So good defense for Eagle Point there. They get the ball back. On the floor to start the second period, Pike, Cleary, Williams, Fullerton, and New out there on the floor. Try and get you a number here. Oh, that's a name I don't have on the roster. Driving in and drawing a foul and the bucket is Tommy Johnson. He'll have an and one as he puts 2 in. Stretches it back to a 3-point lead for the Eagles, and they'll try to get the and one. So Roseburg has a name out there that is not on the varsity roster, wearing number 30. So we will try and get that cleared up for you as we can. 7:30 to go, 30 seconds ticked off here in the second quarter. The and one is good for Johnson. And it's 14-10. Eagle Point in front, driving the other side of the floor. Fullerton driving in, got a foul. 14 fouls against Roseburg. This, I believe, will be the fourth against Eagle Point. It goes against Brennan Knight. Knight will pick up his first. Inbound from the baseline. Fullerton, pump fake. Drives back to his left, stops at the right elbow. Picks up and lobs back out to the top. A bit of a soft toss, and it nearly got stolen away. Into the hands of Keegan Cleary, and the defense a little bit too on top of it. Aiden Quintero, I believe, going to get called for the reach-in. And Quintero will pick up his second personal foul. 5 now against the Eagles. Handoff to our mystery player wearing number 30. Stops at the top, pass it away. A long three from Williams. Back iron, no good. Into the corner, pulled down by Knight. Brennan Knight will bring it up the floor, hands it off, and it is a three for Quintero. His first points of the night. And just like that, Eagle Point has it back out to their largest lead of the night at 7. In the middle, Pike has it stolen away. Have the defense right on top of him. That's Colt Carlton that is checked in defensively. In the middle, Tommy Johnson just backs his way in and lays it in for 2. And now out to the largest lead of the night for the Eagles. They go on a run here, leading by 9. It's a 9, actually make it a 12-0 run for the Eagles. So Roseburg turns it over again. So a run starting in the first quarter. Lasting now into the second quarter. A 12-0 run by the Eagles. They lead 19-10 with the basketball. Made the weak side pass. It goes to Quintero, but his shot no good. Now Johnson gets the offensive board and the putback. Johnson with 6 straight points here in the second quarter. It's 21-10. Eagle Point in front. Roseburg has not scored so far in the period, and it's been a while since they've seen one go through the hoop. Driving baseline and a whistle against Brennan Knight, I do believe, which would be his second here in this period. And he'll pick up a quick second. 2 players with 2 personal fouls so far here in the first half for Eagle Point, Quintero and Knight. Inbound from the baseline. Number 30, our mystery man. Turnaround jumper is off the mark, no good. Up the floor come the Eagles. In the corner, Quintero hits the top of the backboard, no good on the 3-point shot. Up the floor for Roseburg. Number 30, our mystery man, his pass tipped out. Driving right to the rim goes Knight on the steal and the outlet. Brennan Knight will finish with the left hand, and this run continues for the Eagles. They're out to a 13-point lead here in the second quarter. Fullerton back out to Cleary at the right wing. Driving to the free throw line, gets bumped, passes it out. Head fake. Boston Williams drives in and will draw some traffic and a foul. So now we are out to a 16-0 run stemming from the first quarter when it was 10-7 Roseburg. Eagle Point has gone on a 16-0 run to really jump out in front. The foul stops it with 5:16 to go here in the second quarter. 23-10 our score. Roseburg with the basketball. And Carter Stedman, this is Boston Williams, will get a chance to shoot 2. Or 1-1, I guess. Williams hits the first. The scoreboard's only reading 17 fouls. As Micah Mendoza will check back into the game. He comes in for Hunter Fullerton. Roseburg stopping the 16-0 run with a couple of free throws. But they have not hit a field goal in a while. They trail 23-12 on the outlet the other direction. Brennan Knight, a 3, hits the side of the iron, and the rebound pulled down by Cleary. Knight still has not hit a 3. He's 0 for 2, going the other direction. Number 30 for Roseburg. Looks like we're going to have to learn this young man's name. He has come in and he has handled the basketball quite a bit and attacking the rim, and he sends himself to the free throw line. The Foul goes against Redondo. And our number 30 will hit the first of 2. Wilder will check back into the game for Boston Williams. No, excuse me, for Keegan Cleary checks out of the game. Second free throw is good. So they both go through. Roseburg still perfect at the free throw line. They trail 23-14, back to a 9-point single-digit lead for Eagle Point after their 16-0 run. Got them up by 13. Roseburg led by 3 in the first quarter, but did not lead at the end of the first quarter and have trailed all this second period. In the corner, nearly traveled because he slipped, but Brendan Knight able to not travel. Kept the hang of the basketball, then was able to get it to a teammate. He comes and gets it from Tommy Johnson, backs it out. He will retreat back out to the top. Roseburg going with the box and one, I believe, as I've learned some defensive terminology. Shot off the mark by Knight. Pulled down, the rebound was Roseburg. Micah Mendoza will come to help get it in the backcourt. Brings it across the timeline with 4:10 to go here in the first half. Lob it underneath to Wilder, working against Johnson. Spin move to the baseline. Back out to the top. Williams, a 3. Off the side iron, no good. Rebound comes down to the Eagles. They get the stop there. Roseburg still without a field goal here in the second quarter. All of their points coming at the stripe. Left side with it is Smith. Fakes right, goes left, baseline, draws contact, and he'll head to the free throw line. Roseburg with just 14 fouls. Tribe is into the bonus. A foul will go against Asher Vredenberg. So number 35 is what I had him on the roster. Instead, he'll be number 30. So that's Vredenberg, who is a sophomore. He looks young, and he is. He's only a sophomore. So he's wearing number 30 tonight. First free throw did not fall through for Smith. After he hit his first 3 on his first attempt of the night, he has not been able to make a bucket since. And he now turns that around. He hits the second of the 2 free throw attempts. Back to a 10-point lead for Eagle Point. Roseburg gets it to Wilder on the right side for a 3 off the mark, but he'll follow his shot, gets the rebound, and then loses it out of bounds. There's momentum taking him across the baseline. Out of bounds off of Roseburg. And a substitution will come in on the dead ball. Mickey Redondo will come back in for Eagle Point. 3:33 to play in the first half. Knight with it. Pass it away. Near side coming to get the basketball. Quintero back to the top to Knight. They work it to the right side of the floor. Jab step. Back to the top to Redondo. Moves it around to the left side to Johnson. Johnson looking for help on the left side. Not there. Back to the far side. Quintero comes to get it. Roseburg's zone defense not allowing the Eagles to get anything in the middle of this. Now to the middle. Tried to go with the one-handed dunk, and Knight, it rims out for him. He lost just a handle on the other side. The outlet to Pike, and Ben Pike will get his first 2 of the season. 24-16 your score, 2:53 and counting. Roseburg back down to an 8-point deficit. Knight out to the corner. Smith, the 3. Got it. Alex Smith with his second 3. He's 2 for 4 from behind the arc. It's an 11-point lead once again for the Eagles. Stedman back into the game. Brings it up, handles the point guard. They pass it away. Pike at the top. His between-the-leg dribble gets taken away up the floor. And the bucket is good on the lay-in by Smith. He was leaking out, and he gets the bucket. And a timeout going to be called by Roseburg as they trail once again by 13 as Eagle Point matches its largest lead of the night. Let's take a 30-second break and come back with more Roseburg basketball here on The Score.
We are Douglas County Farmers Co-op, but we're not just for farmers. We serve all residents of Douglas County because we are Douglas County. Stop by today for everything from a tank of gas to a bite to eat anytime you're hungry. Pick up something for yourself, your home, and those you care for. Celebrating 100 years of service, Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Good people, good products, and good advice.
2:19 to play here in the first half. Our score is 29-16, Eagle Point on top of Roseburg. Checking in on the girls basketball game up at Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium at the end of the first quarter. In that one, Eagle Point was leading Roseburg 7-3. Roseburg will have Wilder, Stedman, Mendoza, Pike, and Marsters, the starting five on the floor, out of their first timeout of the ball game. Both teams with one timeout burned so far. Roseburg trying to cut it back down to single digits before halftime, trailing by 13 with 2:09 to play. Wilder with it on the left side, picked up his dribble, had to get it away. Tightly marked was Mendoza, but he does get to the basketball. Working on the far sideline pass, long pass out to the top to Pike. Pike, crossover, goes to his left hand, nearly lost the basketball, now does have it taken away by Knight. Knight, his pass, going to call for a kick ball, I believe. Tried to work it between two Roseburg defenders, and I believe Ben Pike was the one to get the ball kicked. So it'll be 1:49 to go here in the first half. Eagle Point with the basketball, trying to extend it to their largest lead of the night. Out to the top with it. McGuire drives left side of the lane, gets stopped. Passes it back out as they reset the offense. The Eagles with it, leading by 13. A made bucket takes it to its largest lead. Bounce pass to Johnson, nearly stolen away by Mendoza as he goes sliding across the far sideline. Mendoza nearly getting a chance to poke that one away, but couldn't save it before it goes out of bounds. Crossover by Knight. Drives in, kicks back out. Johnson, a three, no good. Rebound underneath for Knight, and as he tries to go back up, he is swatted, and they take it away from him. He does draw the foul, though, and sending Brennan Knight to the free throw line. So the first trip to the free throw line tonight for Brennan Knight, who has 4 points in the ball game. The lefty misses on the front end. Second free throw coming up for him with 1:26 to go in the first half of our ball game. Second one goes through. And that will stretch it out to its largest lead of the night for the Eagles. They're on top 30-16. Right to the rim goes Mendoza, and he has not been able to really get anything going. He's got just 2 points as he misses the lay-in. Back the other direction, the Eagles, a three in the corner off the top of the backboard, pulled down by Wilder. A shot by Smith. Just didn't have the right trajectory. Now on the other side, Stedman got tied up, and he'll turn it over. Carter Stedman trying to drive into the lane, got tied up by the Eagles defense and gets called for the walk. 1:05 still to go here in the first. In the backcourt, pass up against the press by Roseburg. Pass through the middle by Knights, tipped out of bounds by Roseburg. The Eagles will have it in the half court with 55.7 seconds to play. Leading 30-16 here in our first quarter or first half action. Inbounding will be Redondo. Gets it into the corner with it. Quintero back to Redondo, brings it out. Knight will take it out at the top. Marked by Cleary. Goes left side, and Cleary's going to get called for the reach-in. Not into the bonus yet for the Eagles. 46.1 seconds. They might have, maybe something changed in the offseason that I'm unaware of. I guess both teams are into the bonus at 7 fouls. Maybe I'm just not remembering how basketball works appropriately. It's a possibility. The free throw missed by Knight. And up the floor goes Colton Marsters. My apologies. I think I'm feeling a little bit silly now at the moment. Marsters gets the first field goal for Roseburg in quite some time. The only other field goal here in the second quarter was Ben Pike. Roseburg trailing 30-18, and a foul called, and it will be a 1-and-1 for Knight. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think 7 is actually when they go to the bonus, and that, for some reason, I had it in my mind as 8, but we'll just get back into basketball mode together here, folks. At the free throw line, Knight is 1 for 3, And now make it 1 for 4 as he misses the front end on the rebound. It was Wilder that pulled it in to Tommy Johnson. Gets called for a reach-in foul as he tried to come from the backside to steal it away from Wilder. He's not exactly happy about that call. 9th team foul against the Eagles. For Johnson, that is his 2nd personal. 12-point lead. Roseburg trying to cut it down. Chase Wilder at the line. Hits the first. Wilder's first trip to the free throw stripe here tonight. Makes it an 11-point game. Second one is good. Roseburg still perfect at the charity stripe so far here in the first half. 19 seconds to play. 10-point game. With the basketball, McGuire. Tonight, out between the circles, bounce pass right side. Redondo with the right hand, dribbles to the free throw or the 3-point line. Got airborne, stripped out of his hands. A fight for the basketball. Jump ball called. And the possession arrow favors the Eagles. Getting a hand in there was Keegan Cleary to tie up the Eagles and force the jump ball. 4.1 seconds to play here in the first half. Inbound from the baseline. Redondo scanning. Will get it into Knight. Knight back up. Gets the defender in the air. Steps up for the 3. Shot no good. And that is how the first half will come to an end. Brennan Knight missing on the 3. Sends us into the halftime break with our score 30-20. Eagle Point in front after Roseburg goes cold. A 10-0 run put the Indians in front in the first period, but they go a bit cold and get outscored in the second quarter. We'll go to the halftime break and come back with a look at your numbers from the first half of this one. Roseburg and Eagle Point squaring off in the season opener here tonight. A 60-second break. Actually, let's make it a 2-minute break here on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
I'm Amelia Snow. I work in the intensive care unit at Mercy Medical Center in Roseburg. I have seen the terrible damage COVID has done to my patients and their families. Without a vaccine, people of all ages can get very sick, even if they were perfectly healthy before they had COVID. The COVID vaccine is safe and effective and will reduce your risk of getting so sick you wind up at Mercy Medical. Get vaccinated, and I won't have to see you in the ICU.
Back here at halftime, the Roseburg Indians trail against the Eagle Point Eagles 30-20 here at the halftime break. Joey Kieran here with you. Do want to say thanks to all of our sponsors that have helped make this possible to get back out on the road and covering Roseburg High sports for you here tonight. We appreciate all of their help throughout the entire season. Well, as we get ready to go for the second half, Roseburg will have some work to do. First half started out cold for Roseburg. They went down by a 7-0 score, but then they caught fire, and they really picked it up on the defensive side as they go on a 10-0 run to take a 10-7 lead. But they would go cold again as Eagle Point would rally back, and they would finish out the first quarter on a 4-0 run. After that, it continued into the second quarter as Eagle Point would score the first 12 points of the second quarter, a 16-0 run that put them up 23-10. Roseburg was fighting from behind ever since. They did cut it back down to single digits at one point there late in the second quarter, but they find themselves down by 10, trailing by as many as 14 in the first half. We'll take a look at individual scores from the first half here after another quick break. It's the halftime show. We are at Eagle Point High School. Roseburg trails 30-20. You're watching Roseburg basketball on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
We are Douglas County Farmers Co-op, but we're not just for farmers. We serve all residents of Douglas County because we are Douglas County. Stop by today for everything from a tank of gas to a bite to eat anytime you're hungry. Pick up something for yourself, your home, and those you care for. Celebrating 100 years of service, Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Good people, good products, and good advice.
I am a nurse,
a firefighter,
a college student,
a mother,
and I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready
for every storm
and disaster that threatens my community.
I will always be there to protect my neighbors,
my family,
and my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
As a doctor, I kept myself safe from COVID by following all the proper protocols. Then I visited my family, and we all got COVID. I debated getting the vaccine since I gained the COVID antibodies. I changed my mind because I learned the antibodies may not offer full protection. But getting the vaccine after COVID can help prevent you from getting sick again. It also lowers your risk of getting someone else sick. So whether you've already had COVID or you're still unvaccinated, please get the vaccine.
Welcome you back here at halftime. It is Roseburg trailing by 10 here at Eagle Point High School. 30-20 is our halftime break score. Let's take a look at individual scoring from the first half of tonight's ballgame. We'll start out with the visiting team, the Roseburg Indians. They've got 3 players with 4 points in this one to lead the way. Colton Marsters has 4. Marsters so far is 2 of 5 shooting on the night. Carter Stedman is 1 of 2 from the field. He's got 2 made free throws. He's got 4 points in the ball game. And then Jace Wilder is 1 of 1 from the floor and 2 of 2 from the line for his 4 points. Micah Mendoza is 1 for 3 from the floor, has 2 points in the game. And Ben Pike, 1 for 1 from the floor for 2 points. Boston Williams has 1 point on a made free throw. And Asher Vredenberg has 2 points at the free throw line for Roseburg as well. Roseburg in the first half was 7 for 7 from the free throw stripe. On the other side for Eagle Point, doing the heavy lifting with 9 points is Tommy Johnson. Johnson is 4 for 6 from the floor with 1 for 1 from the free throw line. He's got 9 points in the first half. 5 points for Brennan Knight, who is 2 for 7 from the floor and 1 for 4 from the free throw line. He's got the 5 points. Also, 9 points in the game for Alex Smith. He is 2 for 5 from behind the arc, and he's got 5 points in the first half. 3 points for Aiden Quintero, and 4 points for Mickey Redondo for the Eagles. And that is a look at your first half scoring. Eagle Point from the charity stripe is just 3 for 7 from the free throw line in the first half. They definitely could be up a little bit more if they were making their free throws in that first 2 periods of tonight's ball game. Our score is 30-20 at the halftime break. And we will come back. Teams are back out, getting warmed up for the second half. We'll come back after a quick 60-second break, and then we'll get you ready for the second half of tonight's ball game. I'm Joey Kieran from Eagle Point High School, bringing you Roseburg High basketball, streaming on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
We are Douglas County Farmers Co-op, but we're not just for farmers. We serve all residents of Douglas County because we are Douglas County. Stop by today for everything from a tank of gas to a bite to eat anytime you're hungry. Pick up something for yourself, your home, and those you care for. Celebrating 100 years of service, Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Good people, good products, and good advice.
Hey there, sports fans. It's Joey Kieran with The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. We're bringing you more local sports content as we change up our weekday sports lineup. We've got the Bald-Faced Truth with John Canzano, noon to 3 every weekday. And then from 4 to 6 is the James Crepia Show. More local sports talk here on Douglas County's home for sports, The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Get ready to satisfy your dessert cravings with Mountain Mike's new mini churros. These delicious bite-sized churros are the perfect dessert to pair with your favorite Mountain Mike's pizza. Made with only the freshest and finest ingredients. Dough made fresh daily with 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings to the edge. For limited time only, get 16 mini churros for the whole family for only $4.99. Don't wait. Order yours today for dine-in, carry-out, or delivery.
I am a nurse.
A firefighter.
A college student.
A mother.
And I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready.
For every storm.
And disaster that threatens my community.
I will always be there to protect my neighbors.
My family.
And my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Start of the third quarter, Roseburg trailing 30-20. Just a couple of seconds late here. Roseburg, a couple of shot attempts up, did not go. On the other side, a steal taken away by Roseburg, getting the ball back from Eagle Point. Now a foul called as Carter Stedman tried to drive the lane. It'll be the first foul of the second half. It'll go against Aiden Quintero, who picks up his third foul of the ball game. Roseburg will have it. 7:14 to play here in the third quarter. It is a 10-point game. Roseburg, the ball tipped into the backcourt. Micah Mendoza gets it. He'll bring it across the timeline. Drives in, one-handed pass out to Wilder. He drives in, tries to make the extra pass, gets it kicked right back to him. A baseline jumper from about 8 feet off the mark for Mendoza. Pike with the weak side rebound. He gets the bucket on the putback. Ben Pike with his first two of the second half, first points of the second half. He's got 4 in the ball game. 30-22, back to a single-digit lead for Eagle Point. Roseburg trying to cut it down here. Is a 3 from the corner. We'll stop that. Alex Smith gets his third 3 of the night and stretches it back out to a double-digit lead, 33-22. To the right side, Mendoza looking underneath. Stedman gets to it. Back out. Marsters, pump fake, 3. Good! And that is the first three-pointer of the night for Roseburg. Colton Marsters puts it through, 33-25, back to an 8-point game. Across the timeline stripe, Redondo to Johnson, into the corner for Smith again, and he has found his spot. Back-to-back threes by Alex Smith from the right corner for the Eagles, and a blocking foul on the outlet to the other side. Roseburg will draw the whistle. It'll be the second foul against the Eagles. Goes against Alejandro Redondo. 6:02 to play here in the third quarter. Wilder gets it out to Stedman on the far side. Starters on the floor for Roseburg: Pike, Marsters, Stedman, Mendoza, and Wilder. Pike has it left side, taken away by Knight. Knight, 1-on-2, goes right to the rack, and he'll take a foul, loses the ball out of bounds. But he will get a chance to go to the free throw line, which has been a bit of a tough endeavor for him here tonight. Just 1 of 4 from the line. Knight try to stretch it back out to a double-digit lead. Right now, it is a 9-point game. First one goes through, make it a 10-point game as Knight hits the first of 2. Second free throw for the lefty. 6'4" senior hits them both. So Knight calms down a bit at the line there, hits them both, stretches out to a 13-point lead. Pike with it in the near side corner. Back out to Wilder to the top. They work it to the far side. Marsters looking underneath. Got it to Stedman. He has it tipped out of his hands by Quintero. 5:34. Inbound from the baseline. Stedman gets it into Mendoza. Eyeing the rim. Doesn't get the shot. Now back underneath. Stedman with the pump fake. Got the defender off him, and he's able to lay it off the glass for 2. 38-27, 5:21. Into the half court goes Knight, and he will draw a foul from Ben Pike. Pike getting a little handsy there. Whistled for the second time here in the ball game. Substitution in for Eagle Point is Tristan McGuire. Ben Pike will take a seat as Danil Olson will come into the game for the first time. The senior getting a chance to get out on the floor. 5'11" and counting. Crossover for Knight. He dribbles to the right side at the wing. Crossover again against Danil. Back out to the top. Tommy Johnson with it. Marked by Marsters. Pass away. Left side. McGuire had his pass tipped. Breaking out. It's Marsters to the rim. He wanted the dunk, but he'll just kind of settle for a lay-in from the left side. And it's 38-29. Roseburg back within 9 of the Eagles. Trying to put the defensive pressure on. McGuire left side. Able to avoid the trap. That looked like almost a travel there by Johnson. He got the pass away to Knight, who draws a whistle. .438 to go here in the third period. Inbounding from the baseline for the Eagles. To Johnson in the corner. Backing his way in against Wilder. Back out to the top. Redondo marked by Mendoza. Backs it out. Dribbles to the left. Back between the circles to the right side. McGuire around a screen from Johnson. Gets it to Knight. They work left side. Redondo beyond the arc. Doesn't shoot. Drives in. Jump stop. Pass in the corner. A three-point attempt is short. Underneath. Fight for the rebound. It's tipped. And it'll be Stedman that comes down with it after the miss by Smith from his favorite spot. And a travel called against Marsters as he lost a handle on the basketball and couldn't control it back in. Timeout taken by Roseburg. We'll take the 30-second break as well here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
4:08 to go in the third quarter as we welcome you back to Eagle Point High School. The Eagles leading Roseburg in our basketball season opener. It is 38-29, a 9-point lead for the Eagles. They have the basketball out of a Roseburg timeout. Tommy Johnson passes it across the midcourt stripe to the far side of the floor to Mickey Redondo. Redondo, a bounce pass, long one to Johnson. Saw an opening, drives in, a whistle, and they're going to call it a blocking foul. Took a while to get the call there from the official. I was wondering if he was trying to decide between offensive or defensive foul. Does call that one against Carter Stedman, who picks up his first. Fourth team foul against Roseburg here in the second half so far. We're going to call it a shooting foul. Yeah, two shots coming up here for Johnson. So Tommy Johnson will head to the free throw line where he is 1 of 1 on the night. Johnson, one of the leading scorers in the first half with 9 points. He's got 9 still. Alex Smith has taken over as the leading scorer for Eagle Point with his 6 points here in the third quarter. He's got 15 total. First free throw goes through for Johnson. Stretch it to a 10-point lead. Largest lead has been 14 in the game for Eagle Point. Second free throw good as well. 40-29. 3:50 to play in the third. Stedman working against Redondo. To Marsters on the near side. He'll pull up for the three. Just off the front iron, no good. Marsters 1 for 5 behind the arc here in this one. Redondo driving in, nearly had it stolen away by Marsters. Pass out to the top. Johnson marked by Wilder. Will dribble once and gets it to Redondo. Pass left side. McGuire finds Redondo cutting left side. Back out to the top to Knight. Crossover, working against Olsen. Left hand, off the glass, 4-2. Pretty move there for the lefty, and he uses the glass. Makes it a 42-29 lead. And then on the other side, attacking quickly from the left side with the right hand, Colton Marsters lays it in 4-2, gets it back to an 11-point game. Some full court pressure being applied by Roseburg. Pass through the defense. Redondo, he's going to skip it all the way to the corner. A deep three by Smith is off the mark. Offensive board by Knight. His shot is short, and the rebound pulled in by Olsen. Far corner, Wilder finds a cutting Olsen. Olsen backing his way in from the baseline. Has his shot blocked by Brennan Knight. Olsen giving up at least an inch or two against Brennan Knight. He's got a good size to him as well. Tommy Johnson hands it off. Redondo driving left side, stops in the lane, spins around. His floater no good. Rebound down to Mendoza. Mendoza pressing it up the floor. Travel. Tried to jump stop, got off balance, couldn't keep his feet there, and he gets called for the turnover. Substitutions coming in. Inbound for Johnson. Coming into the game, Don Quintero. And we'll check in for Eagle Point. Also into the game is Peyton Pierce. Ball turned over as Johnson. His pass is stolen away. Marsters finishes with the right hand. Colton Marsters has 9 in the quarter, and he is helping Roseburg get back into this one. They trail by 9. Got it back down to single digits again. Got to get a stop. Knight drives baseline. Blocking foul called against Jace Wilder. Knight driving baseline. Clipping Wilder there just in the paint. So heading to the line will go Knight for a second time here in the third quarter. 5 team fouls against Roseburg as they started picking up those at a faster clip. 42-33 our score with 1:47 to go in the third period. Knight trying to stretch it back out to double digits again. They've been flirting with that kind of single double-digit lead throughout this entire third quarter. The first free throw no good for the lefty. Into the game will come Keegan Cleary for Jace Wilder. Wilder had picked up his third personal foul. .147 to go. The second one goes through for Brennan Knight. .43-33. Shot from the baseline by Cleary is off the mark, high off the glass, and it's pulled down by Eagle Point. 1.5 to play in the third. Pierce kicks it out. Quintero, a 3 off the mark, pulled down by Knight on the offensive rebound, and he loses it out of bounds as he lost a handle on the basketball. got away from him across the sideline. Roseburg with Mendoza, Marsters, Olsen, Cleary, and Stedman out there on the floor. Minute 20 to play in the third period. 10-point game, and another travel called against Roseburg. Got to remember, Roseburg had last week off because of a COVID quarantine, so maybe a little rusty, trying to get their feet underneath them as a pass in the backcourt tipped away by Marsters out of bounds. It'll stay with Eagle Point. Substitution coming in for the Eagles. That is Colt Carlton. Tommy Johnson will take a seat. Also in for Roseburg, Hunter Fullerton checks in for Micah Mendoza. 69 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Inbound into the backcourt to Quintero. Well, pitch and catch back and forth with Brennan Knight. Knight gets it into the half court, avoids getting trapped in the corner. Passes it to Quintero into the corner. Redondo a three. Buries it. First three of the night for Redondo. 46-33, back to a 13-point lead. 1 point away from the largest lead of the night for the Eagles. Fullerton feeds it underneath to Olsen. Turnaround jumper rattles off. Just off the mark for him. The touch just didn't want to go. Redondo brings it up straight away, dribbles the right side, going to spot up for the three. It's good. Back-to-back three-pointers for the Eagles. They have been hitting from long range, and that is definitely helping them stretch the lead. Stedman out to Fullerton for a three. That one was flat, hard off the iron. 49-33 the score, and a push called against Keegan Cleary. 5.6 to play. That'll be the 16th foul against Roseburg. Keegan Cleary picks up his third. And a timeout taken down on the floor. Let's go ahead and get a 30-second timeout in as well. This is Roseburg basketball, trailing 49-33 here on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
There are 5.6 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Eagle Point with the basketball out of the timeout. Inbounding from their own baseline out to the top to Brennan Knight. Catch. A couple of crossover dribbles into the corner. Redondo, the floater. I call a foul as the ball was redirected out of bounds by Olsen as he reached from behind over the top of Mickey Redondo. Commits a foul with 0.9 seconds to go here in the third. And Redondo goes to the free throw line for the first time tonight, trying to stretch the lead. It's already matching its largest at 14, and it'll stay there as he misses the first. Has a chance to stretch it to 15. Excuse me, we're at a 16-point lead. I got a little bit behind there. Missing both of them is Redondo. So actually the lead is at 16 here in the third quarter. And it is 49-33 as we go to the fourth. Roseburg looking for a big finish here, trailing. When we come back after a 60-second break on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Deciding where to purchase your next vehicle is just as important as the vehicle itself. At Roseburg Honda, our seasoned staff is dedicated to matching you with the right car. From sales to service, our goal is to make sure all of your needs are met, and you leave our dealership feeling good every time you visit. No need to waste your valuable time driving up and down the freeway when the ultimate car buying experience is right here at home. Roseburg Honda. We treat you like family.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
We start the fourth quarter. Roseburg with the basketball, trailing by 16, 49-33, and Roseburg turns it over without a shot on their first possession. Eagle Point will take it away. Up the floor, Brennan Knight wants a three. He tries a deep one. It was off the mark, but skying to tip the ball back in bounds is McGuire. McGuire now gets it back as he got lost in the defense underneath, and McGuire will score underneath, putting the Eagles over 50 on the night. 51-33 is our score. Danil Olson tries to answer on the other side, and Olson gets his first points of the season as he buries a three to make it 51-36. Joey Keyran here with you from Eagle Point here on the opening night of the season. Brennan Knight, Quintero, Johnson, Redondo, and McGuire, the 5 on the floor for the Eagles, is driving left side. Knight, his shot off the glass is just a bit too strong as it spins back out. Olson feeds it underneath the pike. Pump fake, got the defender in the air, nearly lost it, got a shot up, but he was too short. And pulling down the rebound is Knight to get the stop. Roseburg needed that one. They almost need to cash in most drives down the floor here in this fourth quarter if they want to finish the comeback. Out at the top, Redondo dribbles left side around a screen from Johnson. Baseline jumper off the mark. Reaching in, no whistle, and now finally we'll get one. With the rebound was Boston Williams, and that'll be the 4th team foul against the Eagles. That'll be the first against Tristan McGuire. For Roseburg, Boston Williams, Hunter Fullerton, Ben Pike, Danil Olson, and Carter Stedman on the floor here in this fourth quarter as Coach Jordan Humphreys tries to figure out his lineup in rotation. Driving in is Stedman, tries to back his way down off the glass, and the shot just doesn't want to fall, but he does draw the foul. That'll put Stedman at the free throw line as it was a shooting foul. They call that one against Aiden Quintero, who picks up his 4th. A 4th team foul against the Eagles. The Eagles are in the bonus as Roseburg has 7. First one for Stedman is good. After 3 quarters of play, Roseburg had 13 points from Colton Marsters to lead the way, and 15 points for Alex Smith to lead the way for the Eagles. Second free throw is good. So hitting them both. Carter Stedman makes it 51-38. Roseburg down by 13. Trying to claw their way back. Knight driving in, finds the backdoor cutter. It's Alex Smith for 2. Got him on the baseline, and he hits the open shot, 53-38. Williams back out to Pike, who tries a 3. High arcer off the left iron, no good, and a whistle on the rebound. And I think they call it against Eagle Point. That's a foul against Redondo, who picks up his 3rd. It's not shooting foul. The foul was on the rebound attempt. Stedman will inbound. Find the open man. Boston Williams was wide open. Fumbled the ball away, though. Now pulls up for an open look on a baseline jumper, and he can't get it to fall. Boy, he had too good of a look, and he was just wide open. Tripped himself up. Up the floor. Johnson gets it. Bounce pass at the top of the arc. Drives left side. Spin move in the lane. Just short. Danil Olson going to get the rebound after it was sent back in by Stedman. Johnson slaps his hands, can't believe that he missed a shot from so close range. Now he'll pick up a steal on the other side, ticks it away from Fullerton. Bounce pass up the floor to Knight, who's able to hang on to it, but he draws a late whistle. So Brennan Knight on the outlet gets the chance at 2 from the left side, but was just a bit too strong, but draws a whistle. 8th team foul against Roseburg. That is the 3rd against Ben Pike. And at the line will be Brennan Knight. First one is good. Knight has been at the free throw line a lot here in the second half. That was his 5th attempt. He is 4 for 5 so far. Second one is good. Adds 2 more points at the charity stripe, 55-38. Bounce underneath the Pike. On the offensive side, he rattles it home. Pike with 6 points in the ball game as he gets a big 2 there for Roseburg. 15-point game. Driving left side, Brennan Knight. Too strong on the shot. Olsen to Williams in the corner. His shot tipped. Saved back in bounds by Knight. The block and the takeaway. Out at the top, Redondo, shimmy shake, drives to the free throw line, pass into the corner. New man into the game is Stephen Dutton. Dutton will give it back out to the top to Redondo. To the near side with it, Smith. Driving, baseline, floater, too strong. Williams with an easy rebound. Up the floor comes Stedman. Stedman tries to lay it in on the right side, contested. He could not get it to go. Tommy Johnson rips down the rebound. And up the floor comes Eagle Point. Nearly a walk there by Dutton. Gets it to Redondo, who wants a deep wing 3. No good. Olsen down with the rebound. Roseburg pushing it up the floor, hitting the midway mark here in the 4th quarter with the left hand. Just a bit short for Danil. And the rebound pulled in by Johnson. Walking the ball up the floor. Mickey Redondo through the center circle, marked by Fullerton. To the near side at the wing is Knight. He goes with the right hand. Baseline jumper. He's got it. Oh, that was smooth for Brennan Knight. 57-40. Back to its largest lead at 17 points and a timeout taken by Roseburg. Let's take a 30-second break. We'll be back. Get you an update on the Roseburg girls game as they're going down to the wire there in Robertson Memorial Gymnasium. This is Roseburg basketball on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Fans, it's Joey Kieran with the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. We're bringing you more local sports content as we change up our weekday sports lineup. We've got the Bald-Faced Truth with John Canzano, noon to 3 every weekday. And then from 4 to 6 is the James Crepia Show. More local sports talk here on Douglas County's home for sports, the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Well, Roseburg is trailing 57-40 against Eagle Point as we've got 3:31 to go here in the 4th quarter. Let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Roseburg basketball on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. It'll be Roseburg basketball out of the timeout. They need a big run here to finish this one out, down by their largest deficit of the game at 17. Into the corner, Micah Mendoza going to launch a 3. It's off the mark, fighting for the rebound. Could not pull it down. Up the floor, Marster's going to get a steal on the outlet. Yes, Roseburg will get it as the ball is tipped out of bounds. New man into the game for Roseburg for the first time tonight. And it's another number that I didn't have on the original roster I was provided. So we'll try to figure out who number 12 is. That is Mark Oha. Underneath, Marsters has a shot that doesn't go, and the rebound stolen away by Eagle Point. Brennan Knight going to drive baseline, back into the corner, out to the top for Redondo. Down under 3 minutes to play here. Big lead for Eagle Point as they try to start out the season 1-0. Shot off the mark. A wild shot by Redondo, but fighting for the rebound is Knight, and he'll keep the possession for the Eagles. A 3 off the mark by Dutton. And a whistle on the rebound attempt. A win here would snap a 5-game losing streak for Eagle Point against Roseburg. The foul is against Stephen Dutton. His first. 16 fouls now against Eagle Point. Roseburg not into the bonus yet. Dutton nearly makes up for it on the other end as he tips the ball out of bounds. 57-40 our score with 2:26 to go here in the third quarter. Roseburg girls with a minute left to go in their game. They were leading 27-23 on top of Eagle Point, looking for their first win to start the season. Oha drives in, had a scoop shot, just a bit short. Up the other direction, Brennan Knight will get it on the outlet. In transition, Roseburg couldn't get the stop. Now a steal by Tommy Johnson. Gets it to Knight. He tries to go with a bit of an alley-oop lay-in. It's off the mark. Roseburg down with the rebound. 59-40 the score, largest lead of the night. Vredenberg dumps it underneath to Olsen, who backs his way in for two. Danil Olsen with the bucket. A minute 47 and counting here in the fourth quarter. Behind the back dribble and off his foot now. Johnson nearly lost it out of bounds, but Quintero is able to keep it in. Marked by Oha. Out at the top. On the right side, Eagle Point driving in. Redondo off the glass, too strong. Down with it is Oha. Roseburg across the timeline. Marsters into the lane. Finishes just in front of the rim. Hard attack. And Roseburg will get two there. Down by 15. 1:12 to play. And a whistle stops play. Foul called against Roseburg. That is going to be a foul against Neil Olsen. Picks up his second. Tommy Johnson will go to the line. Olsen will check out of the game. I believe it was Keegan Cleary comes in for him. A shot off the mark at the free throw line by Johnson. The rebound tipped out of bounds will go to Roseburg. 68 seconds to play. Roseburg down by 15. Timeout taken by the Eagle Point Eagles. It's a full timeout. Let's take a 30-second break. We'll come back with the final 68 seconds of the ballgame here on 541radio.com and on the score. 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Deciding where to purchase your next vehicle is just as important as the vehicle itself. At Roseburg Honda, our seasoned staff is dedicated to matching you with the right car. From sales to service, our goal is to make sure all of your needs are met, and you leave our dealership feeling good every time you visit. No need to waste your valuable time driving up and down the freeway when the ultimate car buying experience is right here at home. Roseburg Honda. We treat you like family.
1:08 to go in the ball game. Roseburg trailing 59-44. Good news from Robertson Memorial Gymnasium. The Roseburg girls start out the season 1-0 as they get a 29-23 win on top of Eagle Point here on the first night of the season. Roseburg with the basketball, rushing into the half court. Vredenberg has it on the far side. Double team, and they try to take it away from him. A whistle on Tommy Johnson, who's trying to plead his case on why that should not have been a foul. And it'll be a 1-1 here for Roseburg as they've hit the bonus. So for Johnson, that is his third. Vredenberg, the right-handed sophomore, will flush the first one through. He's had all three of his points at the free throw line so far tonight. Apologies here for those that are watching online. Apparently I've gotten behind on my scorekeeping. 59-45 is your score, and now make it 46. Two at the free throw stripe for Vredenberg. He's marking Redondo, who races into the half court. Bounce pass to the top to Johnson. Calls for Redondo, who comes to get it. And a whistle will stop things with 50 seconds exactly to play here in the ball game. Roseburg down by 13. It'll be an Eagles basketball on the near sideline. Inbound goes to Johnson. Johnson working around Cleary. Back out to the top. Right-handed dribble for Redondo. Eagle Point pretty content to just play keep away here. Out to the top, Quintero. Johnson gets it, and they are just keeping the ball away from Roseburg, trying to force him to foul, and Roseburg's not going to do it. They're going to just try and play some tough defense and let this clock wind out. 25 seconds to go. Baseline. Driving in, it's 2 points for Colt Carlton, the senior. Will take it over 60 points for Eagle Point, 61-46. Racing the other side, Colton Marsters adds another 2 to his total, 61-48. And the inbound holding the basketball. Eagle Point finishes it out with the victory. 61-48, your final score. The Eagle Point Eagles will go to 1-0 on the year. And the Roseburg Indians will fall to 0-1. We'll come back with our postgame show and name tonight's Mountain Mike's Pizza Player of the Game. Joey Kieran from Eagle Point High School. Roseburg boys fall 61-48. Back after a 2-minute break with the postgame show on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Get ready to satisfy your dessert cravings with Mountain Mike's new mini churros. These delicious bite-sized churros are the perfect dessert to pair with your favorite Mountain Mike's pizza, made with only the freshest and finest ingredients, dough made fresh daily with 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese, and toppings to the edge. For limited time only, get 16 mini churros for the whole family for only $4.99. Don't wait. Order yours today for dine-in, carry-out, or delivery.
Deciding where to purchase your next vehicle is just as important as the vehicle itself. At Roseburg Honda, our seasoned staff is dedicated to matching you with the right car. From sales to service, our goal is to make sure all of your needs are met, and you leave our dealership feeling good every time you visit. No need to waste your valuable time driving up and down the freeway when the ultimate car buying experience is right here at home. Roseburg Honda. We treat you like family.
Well, we are back here at Eagle Point High School as the Roseburg Indians fall in the season opener against Eagle Point. Final score 61-48. Joey Kieran here with you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, following the action with us here from Eagle Point High School. Well, it was a competitive first half with Roseburg, or first quarter, I should say. Roseburg was down 7-0, but they go on a 10-0 run to lead 10-7. They're late in that first quarter, but Eagle Point would finally snap the run, and they'd get 4 points to end the first period, and they were on top 11-10 over Roseburg at the end of one. And then the run continues for Eagle Point. They end the first quarter on a 4-0 run, and they stretch it to a 16-0 run in the second period as they would jump out to a 23-10 lead, and they would end up leading by 10 at the halftime break, 30-20, as Roseburg did cut back into it just a little bit. But Eagle Point would just stretch the lead in the second half. They'd outscore Roseburg 19-13 in the third period for a 49-33 lead after three. They got it out to as much as a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter. Roseburg able to bring it back down to a 13-point deficit at the end of it all, but they struggled a little bit. But the first night of the season, Roseburg a little bit of a late start because of their COVID shutdown last week. So I think it'll take a little bit of time, but there's some pieces out there, and we'll see what Roseburg has going forward. Obviously, three-point shooting was big tonight for Eagle Point. They hit 7 3-pointers in this one, led by Alex Smith. On the other side, Roseburg finishes with just 2 3-pointers made in the ballgame, so they'd like to try and see their long-distance shot come a little bit better, and that is something that obviously will continue to happen as the season goes on and they start to knock off that rust. Also, a number of turnovers, mainly for traveling in this one tonight for Roseburg, so something else that they'll continue to work on in the ballgame. One thing that did go well for Roseburg in this one, free throw shooting tonight. Roseburg ends up going, looks like they went 14 for 14 from the free throw line in this ball game, and not too shabby there. Wasn't necessarily the worst night at the line for Eagle Point, but they could have been cleaner there and possibly finished with a larger win here tonight. Let's go ahead and look at scoring for Roseburg. I do have one free throw that I appear to be missing, and we'll try to get that all cleared up for our postgame show, our postgame wrap-up that we'll have online at 541radio.com and in the newspaper tomorrow. But leading the way with 17 points is Colton Marsters, as he finishes with 13 points in the second half. Nobody else in double figures for Roseburg. 8 points for Carter Stedman, 5 points for Danil Olson off the bench, 6 points for Ben Pike. You had 4 points for Asher Vredenberg, and 2 points in the game for Micah Mendoza, and 1 point in the game for Boston Williams. On the other side for the Eagle Point Eagles, tied for the game high with 17 points is Alex Smith, 16 for Brennan Knight. You had 11 points for Tommy Johnson, 10 for Alejandro Mickey Redondo. Then you had 3 points in the game for Aiden Quintero, 2 points for Colt Carlton, Tristan McGuire, and also getting into the game, Peyton Pierce and Stephen Dutton. For Roseburg, some of their other guys in the game that did not score here tonight, Hunter Fullerton, Keegan Cleary also, as well as Mark Oha, who gets into the game for the first time tonight as well in the second half. So that is a look at the scoring. Roseburg falls 61-48 against Eagle Point. The JV won their game 54-29 tonight here from Eagle Point as we kick off the winter sports season. Roseburg will be back in action coming up on Friday when they welcome in North Bend for their first home game of the season. So we'll be there to cover the Roseburg boys at Robertson Memorial Gymnasium on Friday. And you can tune in and catch that one here with us on the radio or watch it online at 541radio.com. And then on Saturday, we'll be there as the Roseburg girls are home as they play on Saturday afternoon. And we'll have all the details for you coming up throughout the rest of the week. You can always check out the live sports broadcast schedule posted online at 541radio.com. Well, folks, that's going to do it for us here tonight from Eagle Point High School as the season is underway. Unfortunately, Roseburg will fall to 0-1. Eagle Point goes to 1-0 on the year. Join us on Friday when they tip off at 6:40. Tip off at 7 o'clock. Pregame at 6:45 right here on the Score. We'll have the coverage for you on that one. I want to say thanks to the Eagle Point Eagles for allowing us to broadcast here at their home gym tonight. Appreciate that. I want to say thanks to head coach Jordan Humphreys, athletic director Russ Bolin, and the entire Roseburg basketball program to allow us to bring you another season of Roseburg boys basketball here on the Score. Thanks to Brenton Cranford for helping out with the video production tonight here on site. Back in the studio, it's Craig Ortega running the radio production for us this evening. A big thanks to him as well. And as always, a thanks to you, the fan, for tuning in for tonight's broadcast because, of course, without you, I'm just a guy sitting here talking to myself. I'm Joey Keyran. We'll talk to you guys on Friday night from Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium as we continue on the season with the Roseburg boys basketball team right here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.